Kaizo Ironmon has been a challenge that has been around for a while, and I started to do my own Kaizo Ironmon runs earlier this year. However, most of the videos up there are currently for Gen 3 and 4, and I figured, what if I show a Gen 6 win? As for my prior experience of Kaizo Ironmon, I've won with a Poison Heal Ampharos in Black 2, a Kingdra in Pokemon Platinum, and another Poison Heal Pokemon with a Hippowdon in Black 1. So, who's the lucky Pokemon that won me the Gen 6 Kaizo Ironmon challenge? It's Hydreigon. Looking at this, you're probably noticing the ridiculous special attack at this level since it's over 4 times my level. This Hydreigon's also pretty fast and has good special bulk. Physical defense is a little shaky, but I feel like I have high enough HP to kind of make up for it. And then the main selling point is protein. Normally, you tend to avoid Pokemons with a quad weakness in Kaizo Ironmon, however, Protein lets me get around that, and it also gives me stab on my offensive moves in Magical Leaf and Electro Ball. So hey, a fairy move will not just obliterate me as long as I change to the correct typing. I had to settle for trying to record just the major dungeons and gyms for the second gym and onward, because my laptop tends to slow down the emulator when I record, and I can't handle having it slow down for long periods of time. Anyway, so yes, before the second gym, I learned Dragon Breath and the almighty Tail Glow, and I dropped Dark Void just because I don't trust its accuracy. After all, setup wins Kaizo, especially when you have a monster special attack stat. Anyway, so one of Grant's first trainers has a Greninja, and it reveals to have Lightning Rod, and it hits me with its Toxic, but thankfully I equipped the Pecha Berry to remove its poison, so I just take it out with Magical Leaf on the following turn. Grant's other trainers had a few legendaries, but nothing I can't handle. Regirock has Ultimate and got a bit of chip damage with Ice Grip, but the other two Kyurems go down pretty easily. My general game plan is going to be set up one Tail Glow and proceed to sleep. I get hit by a Mud Slap accuracy drop, but that's not a big deal because I have Magical Leaf. And that's exactly what happens, especially when Grant sends out 3 more Pokemon that are weak to grass types. His Octillery does outspeed and get an evasion boost, but that literally is obsolete. And even if you can't see them, I am typing out notes on my tracker to verify kills and also note potential abilities. Reflection Cave is an upcoming dungeon, and as per Kaizo rules, you can only enter it once. And I also intentionally skipped the fighter trainers and also this double battle. Nothing too notable in Reflection Cave. I mean, even the Regigigas I ran into just drops in a hit. Karina's gym tends to be a menace, and we're already starting out strong with a Kyogre that outspeeds me with Dark Void. Thankfully, this Kyogre was weak and is spamming Captivate for some reason, but it also has a very weak Aerial Ace. Since it revealed Aerial Ace though, I don't want to Magical Leaf and make myself a Grass type, and Electro Ball is only 40 power if I'm outsped, so I decide to finish it off with Magical Leap instead. I get a level up off this trainer, and I'm generally getting +5 special attack on my level ups. The rest of the trainer fights are smooth however, and I get a level up off this final trainer, which also is a perfect time for me to use a rare candy before Karina's fight. Karina ends up leading with a Kingdra, which could be scary since it's a 540 BST mon and hits decently hard with Crab Hammer, but I take it out after setup. And most of our other mons go down pretty easily thanks to a Tail Glow boosted move. Our level 55 move is Foresight, which is an obvious path. Jirachi comes out and outspeeds me, so Electro Ball is going to be weak at 40 power. 2 more Dragon Breaths end up killing it after the heal anyway though, and that's Karina, one of the bearers of X and Y down. Up next is Ramos's gym after a Surf Grind, and I ran into a Deoxys defense that only takes about a third from a Dragon Breath, and it also does about a third to me, so I decided to Tail Glow into Electro Ball to kill it. Someone had a Reshiram, but that was no problem, and now it's time for Ramos. As I set up against the Tropius, I get hit by Thunder Wave, which is annoying, so I had to cure it. And Tropius does absolutely nothing, so I just take it out. Up next is Meloetta Pirouette, which outspeeds me and hits Will-O-Wisp, which is also annoying, so I have to spend the next turn curing that, but we don't get punished as Rotom-Click Spiky Shield. However, the rest of his team easily gets swept, and despite the status annoyances, we're fine. Our next dungeon is Cowl's Power Plant, and we ran into a Heatran, a Mienshao that lives, a Goodra who outsped me to click Teleport, an Aegis spawns Hail, followed by a Flareon that I have to 2-shot, and then I have this Bastiodon where I ran into it off screen and I have to set up for Electro Ball to kill. This dungeon ends with a Tornadus, followed by Mega Gyarados that are easily taken care of with Electro Ball, but more importantly, we get our 2 free full restores for this challenge. And before we head to the Lumiel City gym, we have a pretty important benchmark that we just hit while grinding in Lumiel City. My level 68 move turned out to be Sketch on this Hydreigon. Sketch is essentially a free pass to any move that I'd like, and I'm planning to sketch fire coverage on this as I already have set up in Tail Glow, so I'm looking to find a fire move to round off my coverage. Currently, there's only 4 Pokemon that I don't like hitting, which are Magnezone, Whimsicott, Ferrothorn, and Shedinja. However, adding fire coverage simply rounds off my coverage perfectly outside of immunity abilities. After 2 hours of sketch scouting, I went into a horde, and oh my god, it paid off because I got Lava Plume. I couldn't even find Flamethrower in the first place, and Lava Plume is useful for mandatory doubles in this challenge, so hey, I'll take it. Now it's time for Kalon's Gym, where there's a whopping 12 trainers, and we run into a Firework that I have to 2-shot, and I actually can't set up Tail Glow on it because of the fact that it has Stab Blast Burn. I get a very weird roll on this Rotom Heat for the 2-shot, even though I expected a 3-shot. Gengar has 30, which is always annoying to have to play around, but it does literally no damage back. We get perfect value out of our Lava Plume as we run into a Genesect here. I run into a Bayonet that happens to have Flash Fire as a Lava Plume, and it V-creates, but it misses. We get to Clement, and he leads Noivern, and I think it might be a hard hitter, so I just opt to kill it right away. And honestly, this gym is really easy, and I just sweep through the rest of his team without even needing setup. Except for Wobbuffet, which somehow lives, but instead of Grassy Terrain. After our Tail Glow, we take out Wobbuffet and get our badge. There's no upcoming dungeons here, so I'm just gonna skip straight to Valerie's fight, and honestly, it's really easy. I get put to sleep and I cure it, and then I proceed to sweep her team. Her little only source of damage came from a Mega Aggron Fake Out. Our next stop is the Pokeball Factory dungeon, where we have a double fight at the end with Serena. I'm going after Zekrom, but Manabuzz outspeeds me and hits with a high jump kick, but Zekrom's taken out cleanly. Next turn, Manabuzz actually misses the high jump kick, so I just take it out with Lava Plume. Our next dungeon is Frost Cavern, where we go take out Team Flare, and we have some pretty easy fights. But then we run into this one hiker who has a Manaphy, and it is our second water type with a Lightning Rod. Thankfully, I can still manage to one-shot it, and then the Sylveon comes out that lives and thrashes me, so I'm down to about half health. Even so, I managed to take out every trainer aside from the double battle. After Frost Cavern, we end up going to Olympia's gym, and we set up Tail Glow versus her lead on Pheasant, and it's an easy sweep against all of her Pokemon, especially when half of them are weak to Electric. We head back to Lumio City for the Life Center Labs, and this part is usually going to be one of the rougher parts of the game. But thankfully, since I have a monster of a Hydreigon, I get a free Tail Glow set up on his fortress, and I proceed to pretty much sweep through the rest of his team. Mega Tyranitar does show up, and it does set up Hail, and it does outspeed me, but since it's a Mega Tyranitar, I'm fine with settling with one turn of Hail Chip. There's quite a few mandatory fights in Life Center Labs, but they actually weren't much of a problem, and I even get to full clear it. Up next, we have the Life Center Labs Part 2 at Geosench Town. And just as a full notice, I am actually entering this dungeon with 6 Pokemon just so I do not have to deal with the force swap after you catch the legendary of this game later on. My Center 2 leads off with a Victory Bell, and I set up a Tail Glow, and I get hit by Relic Song, which thankfully does not put me asleep, and I proceed to take out Victory Bell. Kingdra is taken out by Dragon Breath, and then Gigalith sets up Rain, which is a little bit annoying, but Dragon Breath takes that out. And then Palkia comes out with a faster Hyperspace Hole, but I still take it out in one hit. Cryogonal's next, and it actually outspeeds me with Topsy's Herbie to invert my special attack boost to -3. Thankfully, Dragon Breath paralyzes, and I get the full para as I Tail Glow again and take it out with Electro Ball, and then Last's Cacturn, which easily dies to Lava Plume. After Life Center, we have some mandatory double battles, and you are not healed in between each double battle, by the way. This first double battle, I get chunked pretty hard by Venusaur's Mega Kick and find out Serena's Rhyperior is useless. Thankfully, the remainder of the fights up to the free heal are not a problem, and our Xerneas turns into a Fearow. Now time for Lysander 3, where he has a guaranteed Mega, and he leads off with Moltres. I set up Tail Glow, but then he goes for a Quiver Dance, which is potentially scary, and he outspeeds me at +1. However, +3 Electro Ball still takes him out of +2 Spidef. His next mod is Nidoking, which I take out easily. Then Cresselia comes in to use Trick or Treat to make you a hard Ghost type. I don't think it matters with Protein. Bird is next and dies. Girafarig is next and dies, and his Mega is Ampharos, but we take it out with a Dragon Breath, and that is an easy Lysander 3. After saving the world and doing a huge trainer line, including the route past the Bridge Gauntlet, I go to Terminus Cave and I find a rare candy. So I get level 99 on these optional trainers, and then I proceed to level 100 off screen. I also found a PP Max for Lava Plume before entering Terminus Cave too. So thanks to 5 rare candies I got in this seed, I am now level 100 with 429 special attack before the final gym. One of Walfrick's Ace trainers has a Starmie that clicks Sucker Punch that does about 25% of my health. Then you get to Walfrick, we set up Tailglow on his Aegislash, which Try Attack thankfully does not do any status, and then we proceed to sweep the rest of his team as expected. Our gym TMs have been pretty bad for a special attacker, but hey, I can't really complain. I haven't talked much about it, so I figure it's a good time to go over it since we're about to enter the final dungeon of X and Y. Since I get to one-shot most of the seed, I actually get to save a lot of heals. 5 of my big heals restore 200 HP, and then 3 of them restore all my health. I have a few moderate-sized heals, and then the rest are basically just orange or potions. Our first trainer of Victory Road has a superior that outspeeds me and connects a Focus Blast that does about a third of my health. There's another trainer who's mandatory with a Mana Buzz that lives this Electro Ball, follows up with an Avalanche, and then while I am in Electric type, it goes first, goes for Mud Bomb, but I dodged it, and then thankfully I take it out, but I still get chunked decently. There's 3 more mandatory trainers left, and one strat I like to do for Victory Road is use the Old Rod to fish up a wild Pokemon since they are much lower level compared to running into a wild encounter, which could be level 89. And this Aeron only does 3 damage with Seaflare, so Super Potion was worth. I actually took no damage at all between those 3 trainers, and fun fact, I found a 6 unneeded rare candy in this seed. As a reminder for my heal situation, I literally only used 1 Super Potion in Victory Road, and that was it. And I didn't find any, but I think this is more than good enough, especially considering how much big heals I have. The order of E4 doesn't really matter, and also all the E4 have 2 full restores. The plan still remains the same though. I try to Tailglow and sweep. However, Tailglow just made me weak to the incoming Flame Charge, and I'm actually not sure if I outspeed it. However, I find out that it lives a +3 Lava Plume. I do get a Lava Plume burn and then resist the incoming flame charges. However, she outspeeds me at +2, and I thought that she would full restore again, but it turns out she didn't. Her next mon is Wormadam, which easily melts alive, and then we get to Typhlosion, which lives a +3 Dragon Breath, but it says up grassy terrain. So I basically get free leftovers, and cause I know she's gonna heal with a full restore, I'm also gonna opt to heal with a super pot. I end up deciding it's a good time to test if Electro Ball takes it out, and it does. Up next is Landorus, which I take out. Salamence is also taken out, and finally Kecleon is taken out, and thanks to grassy terrain, I'm pretty much back to full. Up next is Wixstrom, and then as I set up Tailglow, Sceptile sets up Rain Dance, which could be annoying, but even through the rain, Sceptile still drops a Lava Plume. Tyrantrum comes in next and drops to a Dragon Breath. Slowbro drops to Electro Ball. Mega Blastoise also drops to an Electro Ball. The rain's now gone and Swirlbuff comes in to Lava Plume, and I finish off Dodrio for a damageless Wixstrom. Seabolt is next with a Goodra, which is potentially scary, and remember how we ran into a Goodra that outsped us earlier with Teleport? So after that jump scare, I decided to Lava Plume on the off chance Goodra was sturdy, and thankfully we take it out. His next Pokemon is a Soul Star Crobat, which I'm gonna use my Hyper Potion to heal on it, but it Octazookas, which is super effective and draws my accuracy. I end up taking out the Crobat with a Dragon Breath, then Carbane comes in, which drops to an Electro Ball, then Sawsbuck comes in to outspeed us with a Hard Stamp that kind of hit decently hard, but we take out with Lava Plume. Masquerade is next, and I decide I want to heal after the Hard Stamp, but I get hit by String Shot to be at -2 speed, and then Masquerade hits with a hard hitting Acrobatics. This Volcarona is last, which could be a bit scary, but Blaze Kick still does very little despite the resist, and rough Seabolt, but we got through. Since Seabolt was a bit rough, I do think Citrus Berry is best to use to start off this battle. I Tailglow, but Cherrim hits an annoying sand attack. I try to Lava Plume, but I miss, and Cherrim draws my special attack with Mystical Fire, and then I miss again, so I get sand attack, and now I'm at -2 accuracy. Thankfully, the 3rd time's the charm, and we get rid of this Cherrim. Dressna sends out Greninja next, and if you remember the last time we saw Greninja had Lightning Rod to be immune to Electro Ball. I end up trying to Dragon Breath, but because of my accuracy drops, I end up missing, and Greninja sets up Substitute. I try to Dragon Breath again, and I miss, and Greninja hits with a hard-hitting Stab Payback. I only have 1 X accuracy, so I can't fully offset my accuracy drops, and I figure it might be a good time to use my X Defend, and I'm hoping the god just doesn't crit, which thankfully it doesn't. Since I'm at 40 HP, I decided this is the best time to use my Max Potion, and thank god I did, because Greninja decided to use Explosion. Quagsire comes in next, and I knew it lived a Dragon Breath the last time, and this Dragon Breath does about 70%, which I think it makes it unaware. We dodge Hurricane though, thankfully. Watchog is next, and I know it has Fake Out in its final kit, so I figured it would be a good opportunity to use the Soda Pop to heal up a little bit and offset the Fake Out damage, and we take it out. Porygon Z comes out next, and I miss 2 of my moves and it hits me with 2 tackles, but then I proceed to take it out. Drassa's final Pokemon is Leavanny, but our champion fight is up next, so I want to be healed up as much as I can, but also restore the PP on our moves with our Max Elixir. Of course, I have to miss 2 more times before my moves even decide to hit, but that's Drassa down and we can move on to the champion fight. For Champ, since I have 2 types that leave me weak to Rock, I decided Charlie is the best way. We get to Dianthus fight, and I have no idea what her lead's kit is. However, I Tailglow, and she sets up Misty Terrain, which I don't mind since I can't get status during setup. I use X defense since it's my weaker defensive stat, and she has nature power to go along with the misty terrain to convert into Moonblast, but it's actually very weak, only doing 30 HP of damage to me, and I'm not quad weak to it anymore. And even if I get special attack dropped, I can just tail goal to offset it. Since I'm below half health, I do decide to use my last hyper, and she sets up Misty Terrain again. Misty Terrain does cut dragon moves by half, however, so I decide to stall out the second Misty Terrain by using X items, and then I go for the kill on the last turn. For reference, thanks to tail goal on my X items, I have plus 3 defense, plus 5 special attack, plus 2 speed def, and plus 1 speed. Up next, Cobalion drops to Lava Plume. Gothitelle drops. Rotom drop. Toxicroak drops. Her guaranteed mega is Houndoom, a fellow dark type, and Houndoom just drops. And with that being the 6th attempt at the XMI Elite Four and Kaizo Ironmon, we've won. I know this is technically a post-credits fight, but I do not care, but thanks for watching. And if you didn't know, I freaking love dark types, and Hydreigon's been a fave of mine.